is in the eyes of the seer. So that's my response to Anand Bihari Prabhu. So we'll chant Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Girivara Dhari Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajajanaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajajanaranjana Yamunati Chare Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Yamunati Chare Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtra Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Rashti. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, Chapter 17, verse 21 to 25. So as we have multiple shlokas, so I'll be just reciting all of them once and just read their translations. Tada shuchi vanodbhuto davagni sarvato vrajam suptam nishit avratya pragdhum upchakrame. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. During the night, while all the people of Vrindavan were asleep, a great fire blazed up within the dry summer forest. The fire surrounded the inhabitants of Vraj on all the sides and began to scorch them. Purport. Srila Sanatan Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have commented that perhaps a loyal friend of Kaliya had assumed the form of a forest fire to avenge his friend. Or perhaps the forest fire was manifest by a demon who was a follower of Kamsa. Next shloka. Tata utthaya sambhranta dhayamana prajaukashah krishnam yayustare sharanam maya manujam ishwaram. Then the residents of Vrindavan woke up extremely disturbed by the great fire threatening to burn them. Thus, they took shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who by his spiritual potency appeared like an ordinary human being. Purport. The Shruti or Vedic mantras state, Sarup Bhutaya Nitya Shaktaye Mahakhayaya. The Lord's eternal potency named Maya is innate in his original form. Thus, within the eternal spiritual body of the Supreme Lord, there is infinite potency, which effortlessly manipulates all existence according to the omniscient desire of the Absolute Truth. The residents of Vrindavan took shelter of Krishna, thinking, this blessed boy will certainly be empowered by God to save us. They remembered the words of the sage Garga Muni spoken at the birth ceremony of Lord Krishna. Anena sarva durgani yuyam anjas tarishyatha. By his power, you will easily be able to cross over all obstacles. Therefore, the residents of Vrindavan, who had full faith in Krishna, took shelter of the Lord in hopes of being saved from the impending disaster threatened by the forest fire. Text 23. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga He Rama Mita Vikrama Esha Ghoratmo Vahanis Tavakan Grahasate Hinaha. Translation. Vrindavan's residents are saying, Krishna, Krishna, O Lord of all opulence, O Ram, possessor of unlimited power, this most terrible fire is about to devour us, your devotees. Next shloka. Text 24. Sudustaranna swan pahi kalagne suhada prabho na shaknumastvaccharanam santyaktum akuto bhayam. Translation. O Lord, we are your true friends and devotees. Please protect us from this insurmountable fire of death. We can never give up your lotus feet, which drive away all fear. Purport. The residents of Vrindavan told Krishna, if this deadly fire overcomes us, we will be separated from your lotus feet. And this is unbearable for us. Therefore, just so that we can go on serving your lotus feet, please protect us. Itham swajana vaiklavyam nirikshaya jagadishwara tam agnim apibat tivram ananto nanta shakti dhrik. Translation. Seeing his devotees so disturbed, Shri Krishna, the infinite Lord of this universe and possessor of infinite power, then swallowed the terrible forest fire. Purport. Thus ends the purport of the humble servants of divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The History of. So we will chant prayers now. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. So before I start seeking the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas here, Adipurush Prabhu is here, Prabhu is here, Nandini Radhika Mataji is here, and all the assembled Vaishnavas online, seeking your blessings so that we can utilize this time to glorify Krishna, to inspire each other on this beautiful path of bhakti as given to us by His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. So these shlokas from text 21 till 25, when I was reading them, like 4 shlokas basically talk about what's going on, like first shloka, 21st shloka says that during the night, people are asleep and Girit fire is coming up because of the summer. And then fire surrounds the inhabitants of Vraja. And then it is scorching them. And then this next shloka, they are waking up and they're disturbed, they are taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, who appears to be ordinary human being. And then next shloka, they are like saying, they're talking to Krishna now. First, so what happened, then what they thought, and then what they are saying. Krishna, Krishna, please protect us. And then they are again saying, protect us from this fire because we cannot give up your lotus feet. That was very striking to me. And then in one shloka, Krishna basically finishes the fire. So there is just like Krishna just goes and just swallows the fire. That's it. End of story. So these 5 shlokas, when I was reading them, what was coming in my mind and heart is basically what we see always in our lives. So what are we seeing in our lives? Something which all of us can agree to, or at least I definitely agree to, that as soon as you are out of one issue or one problem in life, or wherever you are, there is another one waiting at the doorstep for you. And we think, okay, as soon as I'm done with this problem, maybe, life will be hunky-dory, life will be very happy. But then as soon as this is done, the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And this is life. Krishna says, Dukhalayam ashashvatam. So dukh means suffering, dukkha. And alayam means home. And ashashvatam means temporary, or something which is not permanent. So this place, Krishna is actually teaching us what this place is. So in India, if you go to a school, they also call a school known as Vidyalaya. Means it's a home of Vidya. Vidya means knowledge. If you go to there is so many alayas there, so many homes. And how it's there in like that? Because everybody is learning from Krishna from the Gita that, this place is Dukhalaya. This place is the house of or home of misery. Now, when the misery is at the doorstep, it is there for everyone. But a devotee responds in one way while a non-devotee responds in another. Actually, I can say a devotee can also respond in 2 ways, basically. So a non-devotee will definitely do what? Okay, this is the problem I have. And I have these resources. This is the intelligence I have got. This is the money I have. This is the network I have. This is what I can do about it. And you try to get it done. So that is how like a regular person will try to approach that problem. But what a devotee will do, at least a devotee will think, okay, let me seek shelter of Krishna. This is what Vrindavan Vasis are doing. That is what Braj Vasis are doing. They're basically teaching us, let us take shelter of Krishna. But then we are going one step ahead. They're not saying, I want to take shelter of you, Krishna, you protect me from this problem. They are saying, we don't want to be separated from you, Krishna. That's the heart of it. The heart of a devotee is, no matter what happens, I always remember Krishna and I never forget Krishna. That is the most unbearable thing for a devotee. Most unbearable thing. Devotee will do anything for Krishna. So how there is this small story in which once Krishna is in Dwarka and he gets a headache. And it was basically his pastime. And his friend Narad Muni was visiting him. And Krishna was like, do you want to know how much my devotees love me? And Narad Muni was like, sure, like how can we know? Everyone loves you so much. And then he says, no, but the devotees of Vrindavan, they have special love towards me. Like there's something special in Vrindavan. something special in Braj Bhakti. And then Narad Muni says, okay, so what's the plan? And then they come up with a plan, and basically Krishna is having the headache. And Narad Muni goes that in order for Krishna to become well, he needs the dust of the feet of his devotees. Now so I'm in Pujari dress today. I'm doing puja here. I was doing puja here in the temple hall to the deities. And there are various standards of cleanliness, how clean we should be before we enter. Like before we even go inside, we actually invite divinity in our body by chanting various mantras. If we do so much purification before we actually go, mental purification, physical purification, everything should be pure. And it's an offense to put anything dirty on the deity, or any way we should touch the deity. It's an offense. We have to maintain the cleanliness standard. It should be pure. It should be clean. And now here Krishna himself is here, and he's asking the dust of the feet of his devotees. So Narad Muni goes to various people, and most of them, and I should say all of them actually, they refuse. They say, if we give our dust to Krishna's forehead, we don't know what will happen to us. We might go to hell. And that was the response, like everywhere Narad Muni went. But when he went to Vrindavan, the gopis were like, if Krishna gets relief even for a second, even for a moment, we are ready to give the dust. If Krishna is pleased. That's the heart of a Brajvasi. They just want to please Krishna. Only thing which they cannot bear is separation from Krishna. And when I was saying the initial context, that when there is a problem standing at our doorstep, there is an ordinary person and there is a devotee, and then devotee also there can be two types. One devotee can go into complacency. That okay, the problem is there. Maybe I should just try to neglect the problem. Maybe I should just ignore the problem. Maybe, I have already seen how bhakti is done, how everything is done. It's like I can just ignore it, not taking shelter of Krishna's feet, not struggling towards that. While the other way would be to be very, very active, enthusiastic, to pursue that, okay, this is there. How can I go deeper into my spiritual life? A devotee always sees every opportunity as an opportunity to go closer to Krishna, to love Krishna more. When there is love, there is service. When there is love, love is either going up or it's going down. There cannot be a stagnation. So either we are striving hard, we are enthusiastic, we are like chanting the names nicely, we are going to the temple, we are rendering services, we are eagerly hearing Bhagavatam classes, we are reading scriptures, we are doing seva eagerly, enthusiastically. Or we can go into our complacent world that, oh, I have been here for many, many years now. I know how things are done. And I just chant my rounds and I live in this peaceful bubble which I've created, and life is just complacent. And we have to understand how even this material world works. If you see the law of gravity, if something is not going up, it's going down. Forget about gravity. Just think about, there are people, this world is like a world of battle, basically. There are people who always want, who would want that, this one particular person should not go up in life. If they succeed in that, then they want to make sure that never ever this person goes up in life. If the person is going always up in life, then they are conspiring that how we can bring this person down. So they're always active. So similarly, Maya is always active. Maya is always active. It is her duty. It's her service to Krishna. To see that if we are approaching Krishna, if we are receiving Krishna Prem, if we are approaching Krishna, we are pure. And we are serious. Krishna consciousness is not for the lazy. Laziness, lethargy, and ego. These two are big enemies for a practicing devotee. Ego of what? I am the controller, actually. If something wrong is happening in life, I would use my resources, I would do whatever I can, and only I, the I is very big here, that I will try my best to be out of this situation, not taking shelter of Krishna. Or being lethargic. What's the use of like going to temple, doing this, doing that? I already got whatever I need. I understand. I've read all the books. I've heard all the lectures. Everything is settled in my life. So this is very, very important. So here in these shlokas, the most important thing was, we can never give up your lotus feet. No matter what happens, a devotee can never, ever, ever come to a place where he or she can say that because of this situation, I have to let go of my affection, my attraction, my loyalty, my devotion to Krishna. And a sincere devotee is always trying. A neophyte devotee is a lukewarm person. So I was hearing my guru, and he was quoting Lord Jesus, that Jesus said, either hot or cold, no lukewarm. So we have to see that either we are hot or we are cold. The middle path is not the path for us. We have to be always constantly striving to be advanced in this path of bhakti. We should always be striving to develop better and better qualities. We should always be striving to render more and more services. We should be always striving, how can I please Vaishnavas? How can I please my Guru? How can I please Krishna? With every action of mine, with every breath of mine, am I doing something which is pleasing to Vaishnavas and my Guru and Krishna? Or I'm doing something which is not pleasing to them? So this is a constant battle. It's always happening inside. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. He's saying Satatam. Satatam means always, constantly. Kirtan means a devotee is basically always chanting the glories. Chanting glories of whom? Krishna. These are the symptoms of Mahatma. This is a symptom of a pure devotee. One is always endeavoring with determination. Dhrada vrata. That is a shloka. Satatam kirtayanto mam. So it's very, very important that we constantly practice, we constantly glorify the Lord, glorify internally, glorify externally, and we do it with great determination. Dhrada vrata. We endeavor, but with great determination. We should be disciplined. It should not be that I'm speaking again about myself. I have been in this place. I've been practicing bhakti. My mother introduced me to when I was young. And I've been in place that, I already know what Mangalarti is. I already know what Bhagavatam is. I already know this, that. And there was this complacency in me personally, that what is the use of me trying and endeavoring? I already understand everything. Like I'm still a devotee. No one can say I'm not a devotee. Yes. If we are in that zone, we are devotees. But constant endeavor is what is pleasing to Guru. What is pleasing to Krishna? That when there is love, there is action. We are always trying to do something to please Krishna. And that's how we increase our love. So coming back to this shloka, these shlokas, basically. So one point which I conveyed to you all was how we should constantly endeavor and how we should give up lethargy and how the biggest problem for a devotee is that he or she has to be away from the lotus feet of Krishna or has to give up the lotus feet of Krishna. So focusing on that. Now the other points which we see here is that Maya is always throwing different things in our life. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam in various places that there is danger at every step. So there is a shloka which says, Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. So padam means every step. Padam padam yat vipadam. Vipada means calamity. It's waiting for us. Now, whether this calamity is coming through directly at a divine level, like by nature, like with various elements. In this story, we see the element of fire is basically coming together. Now it's because of a demon or it's because of the summer or whatever, but it's basically element of fire. It's created by Mother Nature. Or what we see recently happened in Turkey. The earth element created such a havoc. So there is danger at every step. So these are the problems by Mother Nature. Adi Devik Klesh or Adi Devik Dukkha. But then there are also problems created by other living entities, which we say Adi Bhautik Klesh or Adi Bhautik Dukkha. And then problems created by our own mind. and our own body. Something or the other is always going on. As the numbers are increasing of our age, something or the other is there for sure. Because the body is perfectly designed to make us realize again that this place is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This place is a house of misery. So why am I telling you about these miseries and comparing it with fire? Is because how serious we should be for our spiritual life. Because we are not, at least I am not as fortunate as Parikshit Maharaj that I know I have 7 days in my life. That okay, I know 7 days are there. It's like a project, after the end of 7 days, it's like, it's the judgment time. It's like the exam. So I can prepare for 7 days and I'm ready. Most people don't have that fortune. No one knows how much time anyone has. So we have a choice. We have a choice to live the life of a Vaikuntha man, as Srila Prabhupada gave us, life of devotion, life of service, life of happiness, or live an ordinary life where our life is compared to the life of an animal, because what we are doing is what animals are doing, as Mahabharata says, Ahar Nidra Bhai Maithunam Cha. So if we are only doing and giving most of our time in Ahar, that is eating, Nidra means sleeping, mating means sex life, and defending, Bhai, that we are earning money or whatever we do to defend our life. If we are just doing that, then what's the use? Ultimately, anytime any problem or any calamity will come and this life ends. So this is another way of looking at it. If we are not at the platform of loving Krishna and always be enthusiastic that I want to love Krishna more and be driven by it, then we can be driven by a lower level, that is fear. We don't know how much time we have. At least we have understood that this place has problems. This place has birth, old age, disease, and death. These are the real problems of life. Everybody has it, and there is no solution to it. So with these 2 points, I open up for our discussion. Anyone would like to make a comment, would like to make an argument of what I said, if you don't agree with it, what I just shared with you all. Add something or a question, ask a question. So I think this is the format, right? 7:45 we open questions.
This is a Vaikuntha man, time management by Karuna Nimai, 7:45 sharp. Opened it up for questions. Okay, Vaikuntha man, Vaikuntha women. Oh yeah, there she is. Speaking of Vaikuntha women, Ananda Manjari.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for this class, especially about bringing the point of complacency and how we get out of it. And I want to bring this point. It's a little bit of like a challenge to what you said, and it's simply I want to bring the point when you said we cannot stay lukewarm, right? It's either cold or hot, and Jia said, I will spit you out otherwise. And I just want to bring that in the relationship to how that is separate from the success or the so-called success or lack of it of our endeavors, in a way that I think I can easily fall into thinking that if I am not getting the so-called success of my endeavors, that means that I'm actually trying less. Whereas how can it be that I am keeping my endeavors or keeping the orientation towards serving Krishna and his devotees without this attachment of actually having the results back of that? Could you address that point?
So if I understand clearly, you are saying that if I'm not getting success, how do I know that my endeavors are taking me somewhere? Is that what you're asking, Anand Manjari?
Yeah, I'm asking also about the consciousness that it's there, because we can easily quantify things of like, I'm doing more service or I'm doing more of that, but is it really creating a shifted consciousness?
Okay. So 2 questions basically. So my whatever limited understanding I have and I've heard from various teachers is that it's not about success or failure here. It's about sincerity. Am I trying? Like, it's not that someone is sitting like a yogi and chanting all 16 rounds and we are saying, wow, what a chanting. And that person may or may not have the best consciousness in mind. While the other person, we're seeing that he's just chanting and like almost sleeping only. like all various poses of falling asleep while chanting in the morning. But what is most pleasing to Guru, as Gurus have already said, and what is pleasing to Krishna is sincerity. The person is trying. So success or failure is not a parameter of what Krishna is like. What Krishna wants is love. And sincerity is a way to express that love. That Krishna, I'm serious for you. So I'm trying. I'm trying to whatever I've received from you. With whatever intelligence, body, association, whatever I've received there, I'm praying and I'm trying. Does that answer your question, Anand Manjari, for the first part?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And coming to the second part, anyone would like to address that? Anand Manjari, can you paraphrase? Yes, Krishnadeva Prabhu is going to say something. Please, Krishnadeva Prabhu.
No, I was just requesting if you can repeat the second part of the question.
Anand Manjari, Devi, can you please?
Yes, but I also am embarrassed to say I just forgot because I got distracted. Can you just tell me what it was? Oh yes, now I know. It was about the consciousness. How, which also what you partially already addressed, but how are we also making sure that with the heightened endeavor and sincerity, our consciousness is also there, like is transformed, which is, I think, the aim.
Yes. So it's about consciousness here. How do we make sure that our consciousness is in the right place? Even if we are giving more endeavors or less endeavors. So we have also to understand one thing, which I didn't mention in the little which I spoke, is the importance of having someone to guide us. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We should not over endeavor as well. Now, what is over endeavor? That we do like, okay, tomorrow I'm really serious about Krishna, so I'm going to like give 20, 24 hours or 28 hours in a day. I'm going to do just service. So that is not possible, at least not for me. So it should be, whatever we are doing should be under the guidance of someone. So we strike the right balance. We should not be in comfort zone. We should not be in the panic zone. We should be in the right way where we are not stretched too thin, but we have little stress that, we feel that I'm putting extra effort. So that is first aspect of how much effort should go. Now coming to consciousness, by chanting the holy name sincerely, by hearing from great souls, by associating with devotees. And I will say what association means. Association can definitely mean you meet a devotee, you say Hare Krishna, and you sit together and have prasad and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Yes, that is association in one sense. But when we say about devotee association strictly means that when I meet this person, I feel inspired in my Krishna consciousness, in my devotional life. The other person feels inspired in their devotion. That is devotee association. So by doing association like this, by feeling inspired, it's very simple. For example, if you go and meet stock traders and how they're making money and how they're trading stocks, someone will feel inspired. Oh, I should also do this. You feel inspired, you get influenced. You go to people who are academics and they are doing great research and you might feel inspired. I should also do research. I'm so inspired. If you go with people who love rock music or who are into drugs or anything, they might rub it off to us. But what a devotee is looking in association is that I rub my devotion to you and you rub yours to me, and we both feel inspired. And that is when our consciousness starts to change. So whatever we have received, we have everything. The process is simple. Follow 4 regulative principles. Chant the holy names of the Lord as given commitment to the Guru. Hear from the Guru. Render some menial services. Render some service. Associate with devotees. Just by doing this, consciousness starts to change. And our consciousness is a product of what? It's a product of where we are born, what was our upbringing, what's our past karma deeply seated in our subconscious mind, who were our friends previously, who are our friends now, what are our desires. As we come to Krishna consciousness, our desires start to change. And as our desires change, consciousness is basically changing. The process will go. So, does it answer your question, Anand?
Yes, very much. I want to also appreciate about bringing those three modes of being, of like the comfort, the stretch zone, and the panic mode, because I feel like especially in our society, it's so easy to fall into wanting to do so much and kind of over endeavor. But even in that if there's not enough time to exist comfortably, it can backfire. And I also love the definition of association that you brought, this the space where we are both inspired to go deeper into Krishna consciousness. And what you mentioned last is interesting because it also can both act as a way of assessing, are we really advancing? Like, are my desires changing? Am I actually desiring Krishna more? And that can be a good barometer into really checking that.
So I would just add one last thing and then again opening up to everyone. Just like Srila Prabhupada says this. This morning I was hearing Srila Prabhupada and he was saying that you would know when you are making advancement. Just like when you eat food and you know that the hunger is no more, and only you can tell whether the hunger is there or not when you're eating. Similarly, when you're making spiritual advancement, you will know it. You will know that what has happened, how far you have come, and even where you have to go. Krishna, who is deeply seated in our heart as Paramatma, and our Guru, who is connected with us, who has this eternal connection, will reveal us. We will know. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, hi, how are you? I was just wanted to say, when you were talking about, doing it with real feeling, not just simply as, oh, let me chant my 16 round. I mean, my experience has been in almost all religions, there's always gets to be a certain amount of routine where people, I have to get to work, let me just finish my prayers, let me finish my rounds. And my comments about that is, one, I still think it's better to do it than not do it, even if maybe it's not going to graze the spirit. And second of all, how do you keep yourself sometimes inspired? There is a natural thing when you do something every day to just look upon it as just part of my routine.
Okay, so Prabhu is saying, I'll repeat his question, that sometimes, in our tradition and many other traditions, things are part of a routine. And how do you make sure that you are always, you are not doing more than the routine, that you are inspired? How do you make sure that you're always inspired? So Srila Prabhupada says, if you don't feel inspired, feel inspired. Act inspired. And other thing I would say is, be with people who are inspired, who you feel are inspiring to you. Associate with them. If someone is feeling that I'm not feeling, chanting is becoming routine for me. So it should not become routine, because we have to understand this is spiritual. Ritual is one thing, that is a routine thing, but the spirit has to be there. And not doing it is taking it into another extreme. So we don't have to go there. Yes, it is better to do it and not do it. But what we were talking today was, how can we do it in the best possible way? How can we advance in the best possible way? So just doing in routine also slowly will go somewhere. But feeling inspired and enthusiastic and doing it nicely with full consciousness, a conscious effort, that would give us the best return of what we are trying to do. Make sense, Prabhu? Yes. Bhima Prabhu is saying something.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes.
A wonderful class. I think that question, Angel, we all face this almost on a daily basis, is that when we chant our rounds and our mind wanders off, obviously we are not attracted to Krishna's name. We're attracted to wherever our mind is wandering off to. That's a sure barometer of whether we are truly showing lobha or desire for Krishna. And I think that Queen Kunti's prayer, and this pastime particularly, the calamity of the forest fire, if you notice, Krishna's in Vrindavan, he's just not stopping all the calamities from happening. He's allowing them to come on one after another. And the result of that is that the Vrijavasis are constantly running to Krishna saying, save us, save us. Even when Indra, a demigod, not a demon, even when Indra attacks due to pride, everybody has to run to Krishna. So just like Christ carrying the cross, we're going to all be led to circumstances in our life where we're carrying a cross, and that calamity and that dukkha, these things we should actually welcome as much as, if not more than, which is the hardest thing in the world to do, these calamities, to welcome them, to petition Krishna to give me more, to support a heavier cross to support. And then watch how you're chanting and you're singing and you're reading of the books. There are, yeah, go on. Haribol Prabhu.
I would like to, so I also had this question, and I asked this question to many swamis and many teachers, bhakti teachers. And it's very interesting what you are saying. I would just say in essence that we should definitely not invite obstacles in our life. Because Krishna, when we are doing our devotional service, he would give whatever is necessary for us. As we are able to tolerate, that we will get in life. Because the goal of our life is to be in union with Krishna, ultimately achieve Krishna when we leave our body. So dukhalyam, it is already dukhalyam. Obstacles are going to come in our way. They are automatically coming. And we have to have that right balance. Queen Kunti can pray. She is pure devotee. She saw Krishna face to face. As just me, as a humble jiva, I would say that Krishna, give me whatever is necessary for my spiritual advancement that I can bear. And I'll not go to the extent that, oh, just give me as many calamities as possible. In Vrajavasis, if you see, no one is saying, give us calamities. They are just saying, separating from you is inseparable. So this is my opinion of what I have heard and understood. I know that many devotees pray that and they are worshipable, that they are able to pray that. But I don't feel that I'm on that path. Yes. It's already 8 o'clock. Bhima Prabhu or anyone else, please.
I heard one devotee sharing that they were praying to Krishna like this: Krishna, I'm in Maya, please shake me up, give me a wake-up call. Don't kill me, but just give me just enough of a wake-up call so that I can come back to my senses. Just wanted to share that. I pray like that too sometimes.
Hare Krishna, there's also a question in the chat from Poppy. If they didn't want to read it, I'll read it. Hare Krishna, can please elaborate more on surrendering to Krishna when problems come one after another, and how taking accountability and responsibility to overcome those problems? If you can kindly speak more on surrendering to Krishna and us taking accountability to face/fix the problems we face.
So actually we can go on for next 30-40 minutes just talking about surrender. There's so much on surrender. But in essence, it's already 8:01. The Lord is saving me from giving the answer, but I'll still say very little on this topic. Is basically when a problem is coming in our life, whatever resources Krishna has given us, we should try to fix the problem. I'm not saying, or Bhagavatam is not saying, that you don't do anything on your own. For example, when Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill, it was Krishna who was lifting the Govardhan hill for giving shelter to Brajvasis. But Brajvasis were also there, putting their sticks up. They were also doing their effort. Arjuna is there in the battlefield. Krishna says, they are already dead. No, Krishna gives a vision to Arjuna. They are already dead. I have already killed everyone. But still you have to take the bow and arrow you to do your job. So surrendering here means in our life, whatever we have, whatever problem we have, we try to fix it, whatever resources we got. At the same time, not leaving the consciousness out that Krishna is the only proprietor. It's about our consciousness that Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the controller. I'm not the controller. I'm giving my effort. I'm doing my action. But ultimately, it's on Krishna. So in the heart, we are fully dependent on Krishna. We are praying to Krishna. And in inward and outward, we are trying whatever we can to mitigate the situation. So Krishna consciousness does not teach us to run away from problems. It teaches us to face problems by always remembering Krishna. Again, always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna no matter what. The conch shell is here. Hare Krishna. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Karuna Nimai Prabhu, the Vaikuntha man, ki. Okay. Time to turn your camera on. Time to stand up. Jeffrey Eckler. Nice. Yeah. Let the deity see you. Let Krishna see you. You've seen Jeffrey Eckler. Hare Krishna. Yeah, brief darshan by Adi Purusha Prabhu. Krishna Daya Das, William G. Andrea. Andrea, you wanna say something?
Oh, I just wanted to appreciate Amrita Kishore Devidasi's
Oh,
giving us darshan of a cute little cow.
and she's opening her mouth, right? Amrita Kishore, are you opening your mouth? No?
That's me.
Yeah.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Bhima, yeah, Bruce Prabhu. I saw Bruce Prabhu. He gave me prasadam and he didn't ask for anything in return. He's a very selfless devotee here, Bruce Prabhu. Yogeshwari, Papi C, Suzanne, Amish Prabhu, Dana, Krishna's Radharani, Isabel, Spirit Soul, Pink Yogi, Sharmila, Henry Prabhu, Danakeli Prabhu. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. This is not the material world. This is Vaikuntha. And we're all Vaikuntha man, Vaikuntha women, Vaikuntha cows. All right. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.